Very, very tricky times. All right, folks, welcome to the channel. It's always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. Buckle up and strap in. I got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows and sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. And folks, Peter Schiff, top analyst, top economist, top investor, now says that this one will be worse than 2008. Are you kidding me? Listen, folks, 2008 was the great financial crisis, the Great Recession. And he puts it quite simply. I really love the guy personally. I think he's great. I follow a lot of his investment strategies personally. And the reality is he's in very little U.S. stocks, mainly overseas stocks, a little bit of precious metals, all energy stocks, things that we have to have, not want to have. Smart guy, not like these born through the pandemic kid by the dip, so-called geniuses. This guy has seen it all before. And most people out there, most analysts, you got two sides of the aisle every time, right? You're always gonna have two sides of the aisle. That's why I love you guys in this channel, because we come in somewhere in the middle. I always say, hope for the best, expect the worst. Maybe we come somewhere in the middle, right? Don't want to be paralyzed by fear. We want to be calm, poised, forward thinking. Only a prepared mind will see opportunity. And there's a lot of opportunity out there, but it's hard. So please be careful of the content you're digesting. If it's all doom and gloom, you're probably not going to have a high quality life, but you have to digest a little of each and try to remain even keeled somewhere in the middle. Okay, that's over. So let's get back. Let's get back to the report. So Peter Schiff, I love the guy, he's a top analyst, respect him a lot. He's saying personally that we're already in a recession, which I believe we are, just because there's not blood in the streets yet. We're at the front end of a recession. He said as much. He said that the federal government is failing us because the only way to calm down the economy and get it back on track is to raise interest rates to the rate of inflation, but they're unwilling to do that. They're just inching their way up. They're teetering on a razor's edge. They're unwilling to do that because why? It's politics. It all comes back to politics. Somebody's in somebody else's pocket. Somebody has financial gain. That's insane. And here we are, just the citizens wanting to enjoy our life, going along for the ride. So forward thinking, critical thinking is what we're going to do today. But again, folks, I have to ring the bell and sound the alarm. Hopefully your job's to help me do that. I'm hopefully doing it in a way that's making sense. I'm just saying the things that you've thought from an industry guy who benefits from this euphoria continuing, saying there's probably a good chance it doesn't. Because I've lived through this before, my heart is to help people. I know my rewards in life will always be in direct proportion to my contribution. The only way for me to maintain my wealth is to make you wealthy. And I believe getting you through a potential storm and then reevaluating these markets and investing in it is always going to be the best bet. Now, that's just me. So you can pick who you want to choose, who you want to watch. But the reality is when Peter Schiff, top analyst, is basically saying this one it's going to be worse than 2008. And listen, booms and busts in the markets. We've always had recessions. So why should we not escape a recession this time? I'm so tired of seeing other people dodge and sidestep this question. Come out and admit it. We're at a crash risk at minimum. But no, people continuing to want to chase these markets and they won't admit it until the bottom falls out for them. They have an added interest in this continuing. That's just the realities. So again, Peter Schiff saying not only will this be as bad as 2008, it'll be worse. Why? Because it's a bigger bubble. I mean, how much more do we need to know? This bubble is bigger than the last bubble in every measurable piece of data you can pull from. The speed in which it grew is bigger. The levels to which it grew was bigger. The kicker for me personally is how it was grown. The last one was loose lending. It was those ninja loans. Those bad banks were writing wobbly loans. Who cares? Doesn't matter how you get into the bubble. The facts are you're in one. And this one, in my opinion, was worse than the last one, the way it was created, manufactured bubble. This one was pure manufactured, artificially created through a pandemic, a crisis. Every generation has had a crisis, from the Revolutionary War to the Civil War to the Great Depression had a pandemic. This is yours. Insane. We are having a crisis that's going to deliver an overstimulated economy and then a recessed blowback environment of probably, if I had to guess, with the 3 levels of an economic downturn: correction, recession, or depression. We just had a recession in 08. We had a depression in the Great Depression. The stock market crashed in 1929. We are in the depression cycle. They've cycled through the Civil War, through the Revolutionary War. They had depressionary levels. You're in another one, my friends. I don't know how else I can tell you that. Again, I've always said you don't need to, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. You just have to understand it, admit it, acknowledge the elephant in the room. We've overstimulated an economy. So what do we do moving forward? Well, first of all, acknowledge it. First step of getting past the problem, admit there's a problem. Second is prepare yourself, understand it. Weather a storm, save your cash for a rainy day. Save it for whatever you want to save it for, but make sure your needs are met. And then if you're one of the lucky few that's admitted that there is a problem coming and halfway expected it, maybe even prepared for it, maybe you get to go invest in these markets. It's going to be hard, like I've said, as it comes down to the psychology of people, the psychology of sales. Like I just saw with the buyer herd mentality, it's going to be seller herd mentality at some point. And then everybody's going to be scared to death to buy. You'll never time the bottom, but we can time the top. We're in it, right? We're seeing the leveling off. You're in the top. It's not growing anymore. It's done. It's stopped. It's over. So now which way could it trend? Well, logic would tell you it's going to start trending the other direction. Now it becomes at what speed? Well, we see a lot of heat mapping and temperature checking and top analysts warning that it's coming and it's around the corner. Now, personally, a lot of them don't even want to stick their necks out and put time frames on it. Personally, I think by the end of the year, we're talking about a full-blown economic recession and seeing the cracks and the true colors of the overvalued investment markets start to play out and trend the other way. It could, in fact, be a race to the bottom at any given moment. I believe by next year at this time, we'll be talking about the foreclosure crisis. All this stuff that we've talked about through the stimulated economy is gonna play out, but it doesn't happen in real time like the stock market or crypto market. The economy is a machine. It's an engine that was overheated, and just like your engine, it slowly loses power until eventually it blows. In final thoughts today, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, somebody who wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Acknowledging the elephant in the room, admitting that there's possibly some hard times ahead, preparing yourself mentally for that, remaining calm within that, just insulating yourself and retaining as much wealth as possible, not pouring into the top of a bubble. Now, I wanted to say real estate bubble, an everything bubble, not pouring into these markets with this wealth effect that was created. That's what happened in the Great Depression. It's happening again. Prepare for the possibility of us seeing a version of that in modern era times. When you see people like Peter Schiff warn that we're already in a recession and it's going to be worse than 2008, I would listen. I've been doing my best, but when I hear it from more accomplished people than me, giving it to you and giving it to you straight, it just confirms what we're doing is in fact the right thing to do. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links are in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with other links of channels I've supported that I think you might enjoy. If you're watching from your television set today, another videos in your screen. It is any minute now, along with an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. If you're interested in taking advantage of free stocks from WEBULL, link in the description below. If you're interested in EKSTER's most successful wallet, according to Forbes, in the description below, and Realthy for real estate professionals make money after the sale. They do all the work. Links in the description below. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.